And welcome everybody to another edition of the EGlaze Chronicles. I am your host EGlaze, and I know I was out for a couple of weeks, but what a way to come back to one of my favorite people in the city of Atlanta. I always say when I first moved to Atlanta, when I went to Morris Brown in 1991, one of the first faces I saw was this lady because she was on at the time. I think it was 69. I could be wrong, or 46, one of the two. I think it was
That
46.
I was on channel 5.
Five. That's right. When I first got here in 91, and then she went
Yeah,
on to
WAGA.
WAGA.
Right.
And now she's blessed the city, and now she's in retirement. But I had to reach out to her because one of the greatest follows to follow is Brenda on Twitter. I love following her tweets and see what she's doing. She's meant a lot to the city of Atlanta. She's an Emmy winner, as you can see behind her.
You're so sweet.
Please join me in welcoming the great Brenda Wood. How are you today, ma'am?
Thank you so much. It's great to see you and to catch up with you. And that was very kind of you. The great Brenda Wood. That sounds funny to me, but I appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
well deserved. I
No,
mean,
congratulations.
I feel like I ask you this every time while you were on the air because you've been with us for years, and you blessed the show for years, and uh, while you were on the air, then when you retired. But since you retired, have you thought about your career? Have you had a chance to think about what you've done and what you were able to accomplish while you've been on when you were on the air?
That's an interesting question. Not fully yet. I know that I've been blessed over the years, and blessed for all the people that I met in the business and people, whose stories I've covered. Blessed to have been in the business for such a long time. The longevity is not always a given in television news. So, that's a blessing. As I watch news now as a viewer and not as someone who is presenting the news, um, as I see stories, I'm reminded of things that I have done. So, I don't know that I've taken it all in total of what all I've done and where all I've been, but from time to time, my memory is jogged. Oh yeah, I remember. I did a story like that, and that was amazing. Or where that person was, or that event was, or you know. So it's coming, but in total, no, not yet.
I think one of the things that I was so glad to see you come back on the air for to give your thoughts on the great John Lewis. 2020 has done a lot for us and taken a lot from us, from John to uh, I, I'm sorry, my mind's slipping, but so many Grace and Lowry and things of that nature. Talk
Yeah.
about what you remember and just being able to come back and get that tribute with John and things of that nature.
Oh my goodness. I when I heard the news and I saw it on Twitter, it's where I get a lot of the news because it's in real time. My heart just sank, and I still get emotional about it. I
Right.
wept for several days off and on. Um, it's not like we broke bread all the time, and we were the best of friends, but we were friends, and
Mm-hmm.
he was such an extraordinary human being, one of the greatest people I've ever known. In that class would be my own mom,
Mm-hmm.
who I put on a pedestal, and he's right up there with her in my mind. Um, the most selfless, humble, kindest, most gracious man I ever have known, and I just felt like it was such a loss, you know, um, to our planet. That what a blessing to have had him walk on this planet, but then such a loss when he passed away. And all of us are, the lesser for it, but we are the greater for having known him and being able to benefit from the work that he did. So when I was asked by the station to come and to cover it and to do present a last word, it was an honor. It was an
Mm-hmm.
absolute honor to do that, and humbling as well, because how can my mere words express the greatness and, and tell the greatness of this man and what all he has given to us. But I did the best that I could. And I'm very, very honored and very proud and very humbled that I had that opportunity.
And you did a phenomenal job. I appreciate you doing that for
Thank you.
us to be able to see it. And let's talk about that. And forgive me for missing CT Vivian and Reverend Lowry and John this year, but to cover a city like Atlanta and the rich history in this city, this year in itself just kind of tells us about that rich history. What did it mean for you to cover this city for the time that you did, and being able to cover its rich history and what Atlanta was able to do for this, like you said, this planet,
Right.
What was it like for you to be able to cover that?
Well, I mean, it was extraordinary. I love Atlanta for so many reasons, and that's one of them. That so many great figures of the civil rights movement came out of here. So many ideas, new ideas that were birthed and nurtured out of Atlanta. And the people of it. So, we have greatness that has grown up out of the public school system here, and greatness that has grown up out of, the neighborhoods here, and not necessarily the most wealthy neighborhoods, but strong, strong neighborhoods with longevity and legacy, that have great people who've grown up out of those neighborhoods. It makes Atlanta unique in that manner, and I think it also makes all the rest of us see the world just a little bit differently. If we live here in Atlanta, we sort of take on that legacy and the icons that lived here. And so when there is a crisis, when our voices need to be heard, we do it. I want to say we do it a little better and a little smarter than other cities. I want to say, because we have that legacy in our back pocket, and we've got to honor it. And so when we march and when we let our voices be heard in the streets, we know that we have those that have come before us walking with us, but we also know that we have to honor their memory and their legacy and not dishonor it. And so knowing all of that, there's a certain pride that comes with being able to say that you're a reporter in the city of Atlanta. And all you have to say that is Atlanta. People know from around the world, they know about the uniqueness of this place and the greatness that's come out of it. And then as a reporter, as just a human being, to be able to say, oh yeah, I know CT Vivian. Oh yeah, I know John Lewis. Oh yeah, I know the King family. Yeah, I know Hosea Williams. Just all of those names that, people read about in the history books. As a reporter, you can say, oh yeah, I interviewed him several times. Yeah. That's kind of bragging rights,
Yeah, I mean,
it's cool.
I think, did you have a chance to go to the Edmund Pettus Bridge recently?
I did not have that
Okay.
opportunity. The 50th anniversary, my colleague DeMarco got a chance to go there live and cover it when President Obama walked across the bridge with John Lewis, which was so moving. So I have not had a chance to do that, and I hope to. That's one of the things on the long bucket list.
We talk about the pride of Atlanta and what we've done in the history of the civil rights movements and things of that nature. When the recent, Black Lives Matter and the things, the uprising, the civil uprising that happened recently, were you a bit surprised or at some of what happened in Atlanta, or was it something that people have said we can see it happening? Well, what were your thoughts on
it? I'm glad we spoke as a people, as a community, as a city. I was sad to see, the how some areas devolved into vandalism and arson. I really truly believe that the people responsible for that were not Atlantans.
Right.
And that goes back to what I was saying before. We've had other times in our country where Atlanta has marched,
Right.
and the police department conducts itself in a certain way. The people of Atlanta conduct themselves in a certain way, and we are able to coexist peacefully most of the time. So it was disheartening to see, the fires and the burglaries and the vandalism.
Right.
Um, but what can you say? That happened. But I don't think it defined Atlanta's protest. I do not.
I agree with you. I
Yeah,
totally agree with you.
yeah, I think it
Shout out
was a
to
exception.
shout out to Tariq Wynn. He wanted to say, "Hey, Miss Brenda." Eddie Powell said, "Oakwood College in the house." They're bringing out
Yes,
the school.
Oakwood. All right now,
Oakwood
the great
College, and say we
OC.
we love you, Brenda, as they say them right here. I'm gonna
Thank
ask you a
you.
different way. I've asked a lot of people this question, but I want to actually. I always say what shocked. I ask people what shocked you, but what's frustrated you more about 2020?
Oh my God. What hasn't frustrated me? I'm like everybody else. What the heck is going on? I mean, it's like one long, year-long horror show.
Right.
I heard
Right.
somebody say, like, you know what? No need to be afraid of Halloween because we've had it all year long. I mean, it is a nightmare. What
Right.
is with 2020? I don't know what to say. I say what everybody else says. We have never been in a place like this before in our lifetimes. Um, it's disheartening, discouraging, it's maddening. I mean, you can't go 24 hours without craziness breaking out. I, it's there are times that I want to scream. There are times I want to throw something at the television. There are times that I want to say things on Twitter that I better not, because my family members and daughters would just be appalled at mom's language. But it's maddening and
Right.
sad. It's sad to see the division in this country, and to see those who are dividing, enabled by our elected officials. Enabled. I mean, we've always had we've always had a certain segment of our society that you know did not want to be to move forward in a progressive manner, to accept the fact that we are a diverse people, that we are a diverse nation, that there is globalization that's happening, and you can't. I mean, it is what it is, right? And there's
Right.
always been a group of people in this country who've not supported that, but to be
Right.
encouraged and enabled and stoked, um, and to divide this nation along race and economics and everything else. It's so sad. It's sickening and sad.
With that, do you feel like this election is one of the most important elections that you've ever been
You
a
better
part
know.
of?
Absolutely. I mean, our very democracy is on the line. And that, everybody's saying that, and they're saying it because I shouldn't say everybody, but when people talk about this, clear-minded people talk about this, that's what they have to say, because it's true. We have somebody in the highest office of the land who is trying to undermine the very Constitution. And if you think about it, democracy only exists because we enable it to exist. I mean, a lot of it is dependent on diplomacy and dependent on ethics and moral standards. I mean, the transition of power, from one administration to another. That a lot of that is just done because people are good people. They're diplomats. They want democracy to reign. We've got
Right.
somebody in office now who doesn't give a hoot about pursuing democracy.
Yeah.
And, so yes, this is the most important election that in my lifetime, I know. I'm
Yeah.
certain.
And it's amazing that it's happening. And one of the things about what's going on is Georgia's definitely on the forefront with 2 Senate elections, and then now you got
Right.
you know, 2 Senate and all these congressional races and things of that nature. Um,
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Georgia will vote, whether it will end up being purple. I'm not convinced that it will be a total blue state, but we may be in transition at this point.
right,
So much is dependent on the turnout. I mean,
right,
it really is going to come down to the turnout. And if we have a turnout like we did for Barack in '08,
yeah,
um, we as a people can turn things around, and we can get our footing back. Though
right,
it will take some time to repair the damage, but we have an opportunity to get our footing back and to get back on track and to start rebuilding our country. But it all depends on the turnout. And that's why, hopefully, if you're not out there and you didn't register to vote yet, shame on you. Today was the
yeah.
last day.
Don't you still got time though? If you're listening, you still got a few hours
Till
before it's
midnight.
over. Still midnight.
Yep.
Please register and do what you
Yep.
got to do. I just think it's very important. Like you say, 2020 isn't over yet. We still got things, and that election is still a big part of it. So it's something that we all have our eyes on. You know,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
your family got into the political scene a little bit, and your daughter is on the board of education in Atlanta. I
Yeah.
mean, how was that for you, being, a person who was in the public eye? Now your daughter is kind of taking her reins and doing her thing. How has
So
that
cool.
been for your family?
So cool. It's so cool. Timing is everything. And
Right,
so the time that she decided to run for office on the school board, I had just come out of the news business. If I had been a news anchor, I would not have been able to campaign for her.
right,
But I being in news, I've never been able to be a part of any campaign. I mean, you can't do that in this business. One of the things that you give up.
right,
You can't come out publicly for one thing or the other, because then that taints how you present the news. But I wasn't in the news business anymore. I was retired, and it was so freeing to be able to campaign for my own daughter and to stand on the street corner with a sign and scream her name and vote here, vote for Candace Wood Jackson. I mean, it was exciting and freeing. It was fantastic, and of course, I'm so proud of her.
right,
It was something she's long wanted to get into politics, and it was the right time for her, and it turned out to be the right time for me, for Mama to
right.
be a part of it. Yeah, yeah. So that was cool.
So do you feel like, so people are asking, I want to bring this up. What has Brenda been doing since her retirement?
Everybody is
I know
asking.
you've been doing some bucket list things, but just tell people what's been going on with you since you. Uh, I know your kids and your grandkids are glad to see you more. But what have you been doing
Right.
mostly
So
since you've left the
I have
light,
one.
or left the
I have
camera?
one grandchild.
One
Uh,
grandchild. That's right.
so I help. My daughter has enlisted all the grandparents to do some babysitting during the week. So
Right.
we
Right.
have our schedule, and I have 2 days a week, and he's 2.5 now, and oh my gosh, just so much fun, so verbal, just talk, 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 talk. I don't know where he got that from, but I love being with him. I have been doing traveling. You know, I haven't written that movie yet. I haven't written the book. Um, I'm contemplating the book. I have a couple of. I'm trying to decide which approach I'm going to take on how I'm going to write this, but the book is coming. I'm right now taking classes in voiceover work, so
Oh,
I'll soon be
oh wow.
doing voiceover, hopefully getting some commercials. You'll hear my voice. And so that's in the works. That's in the pipeline.
Oh wow.
I've auditioned for a few roles, cameo roles for news anchors. I haven't gotten any of them.
What the heck? What's going on, y'all? If anybody can do the role, it's you.
I don't know how to do it. Yeah, so I've auditioned for a couple of roles like that, and it's really funny because I'm nervous about it. I'm sitting there waiting for my turn to do the audition, and it's like, oh gosh, I don't know what they're looking for, and clearly I don't know what they're looking for because I haven't gotten the job yet. But that's been a learning experience. So been doing a few things like that, and just enjoying life, enjoying the fact that I don't have, with the exception of my 2 days a week with my grandchild, enjoying the fact that I can make my schedule whatever I want it to be on any given day. So it's nice. But I feel like I have to be honest with you. I feel like I'm still here. I'm still, knock on wood, healthy and strong and clear-minded, and I feel like God is saying, you're not done yet. You gotta keep doing something, and I got something for you, young lady. You need to get it together and find it and do it. And so, I've always allowed him to, or always acknowledged him as the leader of my life and of my career. And you know, still, I'm not done yet. So.
Awesome. Let me ask you this: when because the book was on my list of questions, because you have to, but do you get approached by young ladies in this industry? Because I think your knowledge is well needed, and I'm sure a lot of people, and in this field, I've had a chance to work with a lot of great young ladies who, when I think about them trying to break into this industry, I think about leaders like yourself about that. But when the new ones or the journalists come to you, what type of
Yes.
advice do you offer them? What do you tell them, and what do you offer them?
I first of all, I encourage them to pursue their dreams, full speed ahead. Like, if this is what you want to do it. Um, Prepare yourself, and then put your work out there and go for it.
Mm.
Don't look to be don't look to get rich out of this. If you're in it for that, you're in it for the wrong reason. Don't look to get famous out of this.
Mm.
If that's what you're after, you're in it for the wrong reason. Um, I always say, being a good writer and a good thinker and a good listener,
Mm.
and the ability to write fast and to digest lots of information in a short amount of time, those things are a priority. So if you're looking to be beautiful and pretty and have the most followers and have have the best outfits and all of that, journalism is really not for you. Entertainment might be for you.
Mm.
So I tell them that, and I also try to talk to them a little bit about how to think about their personal lives. Uh, Journalism can be all-consuming.
Mm.
It can, if a news organization could make you work 27 hours a day, not 24, but 27 hours a day, they would do it. Of course they can't, and you can't, but it can be all consuming of your professional life and personal life.
Right.
So find, if you're looking for a mate or you have a mate, make sure that that mate understands that you may not always be able to take off for your birthday or for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, that you may make plans to go on vacation and there's a breaking news story that will make you have to change your plans at the absolute last minute. Happened to me one time, many years ago. We had plans to go out of the country. Um, and those plans had been in the works for a long time, bought the tickets and the hotel room and all of the sightseeing tours and so forth. And literally, 24 hours before we were set to get on the plane, some big news story broke, and I couldn't go. Um,
Mm.
let me rephrase that. I guess I could have gone. My boss did not
Mm.
say you cannot go, but I knew the weight of the story, and I looked to my
Mm.
husband and I said, "This is too big. I can't go." And it was tough
Right.
because we had to eat some of those tickets.
Right.
But that's the nature of the business. And so you got to be prepared, willing to do that, first of all. And then you've got to, attach yourself to a partner who understands that and is not going to, pitch a holy fit every time you have to back out of something because of work.
Right.
And that can be tough. It's a tough business
Yeah.
on relationships. So I do counsel in that way as well.
You think about your career and the greatness of it and the things you went through. Was there any regrets?
Oh, sure. I mean, so many, I can't even begin to recount, stories that I could have done better, could have told
Mm,
better,
mm,
asked better questions.
mm,
Um, you know, Days when I should have been more energetic on the anchor desk, more focused. I mean, I
mm.
can't give you specific
Right.
instances,
Right.
but oh yeah, sure. There as well as a reporter too, but especially as an anchor, you have to always be on,
Yeah.
and and you need to be 100% always, and you can't always be that. Some days you're distracted, and that's not fair to the audience.
Mm,
So yes, lots of regrets, but um, overall, there's still so much to be grateful for.
right.
As I said, the longevity in this business, um, and the people that I got a chance to work with and learn from.
Mm,
The people that I worked side by side with who were just extraordinarily talented, way more talented than I could ever hope to be. And the fact that I got a chance to work with those people, and learn from them, and try to improve my game. I
right.
worked with Jeff Hollinger. He's one of my favorites. Jeff and I used to work together at Channel 5,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and he wasn't very nice to me when I first came as an anchor. He was there first as the sports guy, and he was a
Right.
little what at first. He was not nice to me at all. Um, and but what could I do? He was my coworker, and we sat next to each other, and we had to deal with each other. But over time, we both just got a respect for each other, and as fate would have it, many years later, we find ourselves working together, co-anchoring the news at another station.
Right.
And I have told many people this, and I'll say it here. Jeff is one of the smartest people I've ever known. I mean, this
Mm,
man, I guess he has a photographic memory. He has a memory like an elephant. He did sports for many years, and he can tell you about the 1965 World Series and the seventh inning when who was on what base and who came home and who did a fly hit and all of that. I mean, he can tell you all of that. He's amazing. And I loved working with him because I felt like he upped my game. Like I couldn't come to work and not be the best that I could be and not be on point, because I knew the
mm,
man sitting next to me was always going to be on point. So he
mm.
upped my game every day, and I used to say that to him. I was like, you make me better. Like I can't sleep on the job next to you. I gotta be on point always, and I liked it. I liked the challenge of that. I loved it, really. And so one of the things I do miss is working with him. So
Couple more questions, and thank you for taking the time. Let me also ask you this. You talk about upping your game. This city has some, in my opinion, some of the most iconic anchors that we had, and a woman like a Monica Kaufman and yourself,
yeah,
and
yeah.
things of that nature. Knowing that they were on the other channels, did that also make you up your game as well? Did that make you say, I know who down on the other, I own the other channels. Let me make sure I get this going, and things of
Yeah.
that nature.
Yes. Um, yeah, I mean, Monica set the standard, right? So, but then there's Amanda and,
Right, right.
just so many fabulous people. And, yeah, you want to go in and hold your own, right? You got to hold your own.
Right.
You can't slough off, right? Yeah, so it was great to be able to anchor in the same city. Um, when I first came, I was on a radio station, and they asked me, was I intimidated by coming in to anchor in Monica City?
Wow.
And I said, no, I'm not. Like, I think Atlanta is large enough to accommodate two good anchors. I think Atlanta's big enough to handle that. It'll be okay.
Wow.
So yeah, but it was Monica City, and it was Monica City.
Oh, that's
I can't
awesome.
take anything away from my girls. She was amazing, and she broke a lot of barriers. She opened doors for people like me and others. So, I got to give her props for that. Yeah, she's amazing,
Well,
amazing at what she did.
you opened a lot of doors yourself, so you had a lot of keys, and people thank you for it. With all that you've seen and you've been a part of, I want to end it with this. What still gives you hope?
In 2020,
Yeah, no, right.
what gives me hope? Well, my grandchild,
Hmm.
you know, um, another generation, a new generation. Um, Here's what I tell you really gives me hope, especially given what this year has brought us. Um, Let me just say what the last 3.5 years have brought us. Um, this current generation of young adults,
Mm.
I we have a lot of work still to do in achieving equity and equal rights and parity among people of color in this country,
Mm.
and for women as well.
Right.
And we've made a lot of strides. Those in power right now are trying to take that away.
Right.
Um, but so we've made a lot of strides. It's trying to be undermined, but I do believe that our young people are going to take us all the way to the finish line. I really
Mm.
do. They're smart, they're strong, they're uh, persistent. They're powerful. Their voices are powerful. They're good thinkers.
Mm.
I just have a lot of faith and hope. I see, these young people that are interviewed out in the streets and streets in city USA, in any given city in the USA, where young
Right.
people are interviewed about, why are you out protesting? Why are you marching? Why are you wearing that T-shirt? Why have you organized this? Why have you become a part of this? And almost always, every young person who talks just is brilliant, so inspiring,
Mm.
so smart and thoughtful, and they know what they want, and they know how to get it, and that's what gives me hope. Yeah, there's something else. Yeah, these
Wow.
20-year-olds, there's something
Yeah, they
else.
are. And I have a 20-year-old, and I can say they are amazing. They are amazing. So
They absolutely are. But I guess every generation, every
yeah,
season has their greatness. I mean, John Lewis, what was
yeah,
he, 1920, when he was talking at the March on Washington before the
yeah.
crowds of hundreds of thousands? What were you doing at 19 or 20?
Mm.
So he was phenomenal. Martin Luther King, that generation, every
Yeah.
generation has brilliance. Um, we've come a long ways. I do believe the young people today are going to take us all the way. And John Lewis said that too. He had faith in that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Brenda, again, I thank you. I tell everybody you are one of the best follows. You've actually got me to not go to a restaurant, and I won't mention them, but
Good, good. And I need to do
but
better about my social media.
yeah,
I don't post as much as I should. I need to do more. Sometimes I have to tell you, I have to share with you. Sometimes I feel like what I really want to say, I might not be appropriate or might get backlash. I'm a little intimidated about it. I just need to go ahead and be bold and just say it. And, if you don't like it, then don't read it.
Because when I read, I was like, yeah, I ain't going there. That's just ends that. Where can they find you at? Where can they find you at on social media and follow you?
Listen, just look up Brenda Wood. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I haven't been on Facebook very much, to be real honest with you. I posted about us on Facebook, but I don't like all the intrusion on Facebook from foreign lands and craziness that's happening around that. So I don't do a lot of Facebook. I do more on Twitter and most on Twitter and some on Instagram. So, but maybe now that I've said that, I'll do more on Facebook.
One of my favorite follows, so y'all make sure y'all follow her.
Oh,
Brenda
you're
Wood.
so sweet. It's great to talk to you. I'm so proud of you with this new
Thank
show
you.
you got, and good for you.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate
I
it.
really appreciate you following me.
Absolutely. And just keep, please tweet more. We need more of Brenda. We need it more. And take care of that grandbaby and your family. We thank you so much, and keep just know you are an Atlanta treasure yourself. And we really appreciate you
that means
and what
a lot.
you've done for us.
I love
and
this
one of the and somebody said you're amazing, and you are amazing. And Brenda Wood, everybody, make sure you follow her. And thank you for listening to the EGlaze Chronicles. We're back next week. We got some good people coming on, and I can't be happier. I'm smiling, y'all. I can log off for the day, and I won't be depressed watching the Falcons tonight. So because Brenda just talked to me, so
we didn't even get to that subject.
I can't do it. I can't do it, Brenda. I can't do it. I can't do it. The frustration is too high for me. It's too high for me.
Again, we're gonna give up the lead again in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Really,
it's heartbreaking. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Thank you, Brenda.
All right, so stay in touch. And again, congratulations.
I definitely will.
All right.
Thank you again. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.